everyone. I am Brandon Jewell with the CTE Foundation. Today I am here with Peter Mischenfelder, Operations Manager at Max Machinery in Healdsburg. So tell us, Peter, what is it that Max Machinery does? And maybe you can tell us specifically what you as the Operations Manager does there.
Okay, so Max Machinery, we're a small manufacturing company in South Healdsburg. What we manufacture are high precision positive displacement flow meters. So it's a big mouthful, but essentially it's a highly precise industrial flow measurement device. So it's used typically in a lot of hydrocarbon based applications, so refineries, automotive, aerospace, as well as in conformal coating like applications. So oil, gas, conformal coating, some water treatment applications as well. And what I do there is I'm the operations manager. So essentially I am in charge of all of the basically production. So purchasing, vendor management, we have shipping, receiving, the actual assembly of the products, and process design, process improvement, as well as dealing with non-conformances, so quality management issues as well.
And what kind of background do you have that led you into that particular career?
So I actually started with the company about 8 years ago as an automation engineer. So we test all of the equipment or all the products that we make. And so they needed someone who could automate their test systems. At the time, it was all very manual. You had to manually turn valves and set flow rates. And so I was brought in to write the software, buy the components that would allow it to be automated and make it to the point where it's now kind of you push a button, walk away, and it does everything for you. And so from there, I just kind of naturally got promoted into different positions and ultimately ended up in my current role, which is, in charge of all the operations.
Did you go to
Oh,
school for engineering?
yes. Sorry, I kind of skipped over that. Yeah, I went to UCSD and my degree is in aerospace engineering.
Okay. And now what was it about your skills and your interests that led you to pursue an engineering career?
It was actually kind of accidental and by chance. It was, math, funny enough, has always been kind of an interest for me, math and physics. And when I was in college, I didn't really I did the junior college route initially, and I was not sure exactly what I wanted to do. And by chance, ended up working in the school's theatrical scene shop and doing a lot of carpentry. And from there, it was kind of people that I met, guidance I got from some of the technical directors I worked with, trying to push me into something everyone kind of pushed back or kind of recommended was looking at engineering based off of the skills I was showing in what I was doing in the scene shop with, dealing with drawings and making structural, because I had to design all the structure work that we would build. So from that, I started looking more into doing engineering. Initially, it was civil. And when it came time to actually transfer, I saw they had an aerospace program and I liked airplanes. So I was like, let's try it. And so that's more or less how I ended up in aerospace engineering.
So what is it about your current job and the industry as a whole that you really enjoy?
So my job now has kind of moved more into management, which it's definitely different, but I get to still, since we're a small company, I get to hold on to some of my older responsibilities. And that's actually the area that I really do enjoy. Um, Funny enough, it's not really what I did in college, but most of it is now programming, is the stuff that I enjoy. It kind of goes along the lines with process automation. So I'm applying that into not just the systems themselves, so the test equipment, automating them, but I'm now applying it to the actual whole process flow of, we do a lot of stuff that's still on paper. I'm trying to take the paper aspect out of it, make it all paperless.
Mm-hmm.
Forms that are being filled out, I'm trying to, make digital and have automated handoff so it sends emails out whenever it's ready for the next stage. And it's just kind of, yeah, that's the thing I definitely enjoy, is taking something that's very manual and very handheld and turning it into something that's automated and flows smoothly.
Mm-hmm. Now, when you were going through school, did you get any specific training on how to make things more efficient and automated like that?
In at UC San Diego, since aerospace, sort of, but not really with that as the focus.
So it's almost just kind of like it's more of a skill of yours that you enjoy and you're good at. It sounds like. So on that note, maybe you can tell us what particular skills and interests one should have in order to go into a career in engineering. And then maybe also you could tell us the same thing about management.
One that I find is really important is um, self being self-driven and kind of seeking your own answers. It's not to mean that you can't seek help when it's there, but there's definitely a power when you're able to find a problem and just really go out and try to find the solution and just give everything you have to find what that solution is. Because especially when you're in management, you're always going to be facing new problems. Engineering, you're always going to face a new problem. And you can't always go out and ask someone exactly how to solve it. You got to kind of figure out what have other people done, take the lessons that they've learned and apply it to your situation. Um, so I don't know how you describe that as a skill, but it's, I guess, problem solving, if you
Yeah.
really want to simplify it. So it's like really good problem solving skills and being able to apply very specific knowledge to like a breadth. So you need breadth as well. That was kind of one of the comments I was thinking, like when I was looking at the questions or sample questions, what you might ask was one of the big things that I kind of learned on early in my college career was never memorize formulas, learn how to derive the formulas. And I thought that was a good skill and something I started to learn to apply to like all aspects of my life. Because if you kind of just learn answers, you kind of box yourself into repeat, you box yourself into what everyone else is doing and you don't innovate, you don't try anything different. And so you get kind of narrow minded or I guess uh, kind of narrow vision. Um, but if you learn to like take, derive the equations, do it for yourself, you can take other people's work, other people's solutions, and you start applying it with more breadth. And so it gives you more versatility in the problems you can tackle and solutions you can find.
So don't just learn the answer, learn why that is the answer.
Correct.
And then that way you can iterate on it and innovate.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, as my last question, I always like to get a piece of advice from the person that we're interviewing.
Mm-hmm.
And in this case, just maybe you can put your high school hat back on. And the students that are watching this are mainly around junior, senior level, and some freshman, sophomore. But they're at that critical time where they're starting to think about what it is that they want to do. And maybe you can give a piece of advice to these students that might help them as they're kind of figuring out the next steps after high school.
Right. Well, the first thing I would say is it's okay to not know what you want to do. That is definitely a lesson I learned. Is I always thought when I got to be an adult, I would know exactly what I wanted to do, and everything would, I'd figure it all out. And here I am at 36, and I still don't know everything. So it's okay to not know what you want to do. I would definitely put it back to kind of that, understand solutions. Don't just learn the answer. Because that'll help you in trying to figure out what you want to do as well. Explore all your options. Yeah, it's kind of it's definitely a hard time when you're straight trying to figure out what you want to do, go into college, have to pick a major.
But I like that. Be flexible. Yeah, I also went to college not knowing what I wanted to do, but eventually I did, and I really enjoy what I do now.
Yeah, that was the same way. It took me a little bit to graduate, but in the end, I felt like I made the right choice.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Peter, for being interviewed today. We really appreciate it, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.